All right, folks. So here we have, here we've got my trading platform for the day. All right, so currently, you guys know that I'm into algo trading. So we've got algos that's set up for the penny stocks. So for the penny stocks, I pull and I scrape and I look for the percent gainers for the day. This is off the hot list. I take this, drag, I'll copy, I'll go over to my algo penny, the radar screen. Will paste here, and so this is the 5 minute time frame section here, and then I'll also paste down here to the 1 minute time frame section. And so my algos they'll kind of do their thing, and then they'll look at the chart first, and they'll see if there's any problems with the chart. If there's problems with the chart, like you see here, it says gaps and static. That means that there's gaps in the chart. There are gaps in the chart. The gaps could be from illiquidity, or the gaps could be from just gaps in time or trades on the 15-second time frame. Looking at the, there might be a what is it? Not a gap up, but a halt, right? So if the symbol went on a halt or something during the day, then it won't let me trade it. Or if it's the chart is just very static, whereas there are a lot of, yeah, you see this bar here, this one here. There's this halt during the day, and so it won't let me trade this because of that. So I can remove that. Let's see, LFS. That's what I've been working on today. I've been working on being able to filter that out so that I can still trade it, but I will have to override it. And I'll have to override it like this. Okay, but now there's another part of my trading where I am looking at small. Now I'm looking at mid and large cap stocks, right? So stocks that you might see in technology sector, healthcare, utilities, not just those penny stocks. So stocks that cost $40, $50, whatever the case. All right. That being said, if I if I trade these stocks, then these stocks are not, or should not, or I'm not planning on having these algos bound to the rules of the penny stocks. The penny stocks, I don't want to have that lack of liquidity. And with mid large cap stocks, you can see illiquidity with the mid large stocks as well. So I might want to have some type of filter still for these mid large caps that prevents them from taking trades if such and such is going on, if there's illiquidity or if there's something going on. It's the index it's moving against the index or something like that. So I'll figure that out. But for right now, what I want to do is I wanted to make a function that I could drop into my scripts to tell me if the stock is a mega cap, large cap, medium cap, or micro cap. All right, so like this penny stock here. What is this? SOC. Let's see. Let's see what this penny cap, this SOC comes in as. See, it comes in as a small. Okay, so just that quickly, I can drop this over into one of my algos, one of my indicators. I can drop that in there, and it'll tell me if it's mega, medium, small, large, and depending on what it is, it'll allow me to either programmatically make changes, or I can do some overrides based on what the cap is. So that's just another way that I want to use to have control over my algos. Okay, all right. So this is the function here, and you can copy and paste it if you want it. All right. So I just open up a function, new function. You name the function. I made it a string because I wanted to return this string here. Okay, and so essentially we're setting this variable as z mcap, and then this is what's going to be what this fundamental field is going to be returned to this variable. The fundamental field is going to return a value. So this is an integer, not a string. This is an integer. The fundamental field that is going to look like it just took a trade. One of my algos took a trade on LFS. So let's see what it did and see if it looks good. I don't know. That looks sketchy. That looks sketchy. To come back up here and hit that very tip, that looks very sketchy. But like I said, I need to add some more logic to my programs, because the programs, they basically have entries, and the entries aren't bad, but the entries don't look back at the significant areas and see where you are with these significant price levels. Even if it is on the lower time frame, it just doesn't look back at it. So I need to go back and make some modifications so that my programs look at that. All right. I made a video earlier, but that one may not hit viewership or visibility. So let me open up the order log here and show you something that I ran into. Look at that. That's about to bust right through it. But anyway, I might take another order later. All right, but so you see there, the algo that took the order was scale in. All right, so it was like, there it goes, took it out. So was this one here. It was scale in, and it should have something right here though. It should say entry right here, because earlier today when I was taking orders, it said it did take one of the algos took an order, took a position, and it said test. It shouldn't say test. It should say entry. This also is 11.7. 11.7, 11.11. Back at 337. This is just where the algos have been loaded. I loaded them. I've been playing with that new function, so I've been doing a lot of loading, you see. Okay, and then I had orders here around 1250. Is that right? And then you say here it says test. It shouldn't say test. It should say entry. And I went through and I made some modifications that should have fixed that. And it looks like it didn't quite fix it. Yeah, it looked like something else took another position. Yeah, that looked very sketchy there. All right, but that's what it is. I mean, you know, the algos, they take trades, they win, they lose, they win, they lose, they lose, they win. It is what it is. But again, you see, I put in the override code here, right? So the algo was pretty much saying, no, don't trade this. And I said, no, yeah, I want to trade it. I want to trade it. So, you know, that's what we get. That's what we get. It's hilarious. But wow, what a move. Down from $2? Sheesh. And see this area of illiquidity in here? This is what my algo is telling me to stay away from. Now, it doesn't mean that it won't move. It just means that there might not be as much liquidity as you think. Even though it looks like it's a nice move up, there might not be that much liquidity to keep it up. You just don't know when it's going to fall. So, anyway. All right. Oh, I know what it is. Let's see. Reopen file. Okay. All right. So what it is I made the changes for strategy 71 and 72. I didn't make any changes for strategy 61. So if we open up strategy 61, da, da, da. don't even see it down here. Let's do this. Let's open up. Let's go to, tell you what, let's just do it this way. So strategy 61, which one is it? This one. Right click it, go to studies, edit it. All right, you see it put in another order though. Again, that's the thing about programming, is you don't want to get too hype about all this. You just want to let it do its thing. And I mean, if that hits, then that will should get back all the losses that I got here. It won't put me, no, not quite. I'll still be down. Down some, Danielson. All right. So this is strategy 61. So I had to go all the way down to Z test. And what happened is I have something called M order caller. This lets me know if I have a test in or what I have in and what kind of order is being put in. Nice. Test should be right up in here. All right. Wow. Now see, if I had it higher, I'd have got all my money back. That's all right. That just means that there's opportunity to make a new program. That's all that means. Let's open this up. Let's go to outline. And you want to be able to use your outlines over here, especially when you have longer programs. You want to use your outlines so that you can kind of navigate up and down through your projects a lot quicker. So we have one that's called test. And I kind of move these around a little bit from my latest programs. You know what? I don't know if this one has the test. X test. Nope, it doesn't. Does it do the... Are we printing the order? Order updated? Here. On the newer strategies, see strategy number 71 here. On the newer strategies, I have, it looks a lot longer. It's a little bit more involved. Order updated. You see here, print order, we have the order caller. And then when we have print order here, we have the order caller here. So this will say test, or it'll say, or it'll just say entry. But on my older strategy, strategy 61, it doesn't have that. It doesn't have test or entry. And it also doesn't have the, so if we go, to the newest one, we go to outline Z test trades. It has its own testing method. The older version does not have that. So that's okay. So that's nothing for us to work with there. I think we were kind of in the middle. What did it do? Okay, now it's trying to get some meat and potatoes. It's risking the whole 272. That's a big jump there, buddy. I mean, I don't know about that one. That look like she's gonna flush you. What is going on this chart? Now this does not need to be a listener. This one needs to sync with this one. I tell you, my everything keeps getting shut down. The platform keeps crashing. This is update 88. It keeps crashing. So when it crashes, even though I save it, somehow when it crashes, I lose all these updates. All right, is this a fairly new stock? On the daily chart, it doesn't have anything. I think that's what this is. This is a fairly new stock, maybe a new IPO or something. LFS. Bad thing about TradeStation is it doesn't really have much in the way of news. It doesn't do news very well. All right, I think we're going to hit that. Get that 272, whatever it was. No, it still has a ways to go. Okay. All right. And this one, I said I want to get rid of that one. And then we wanted to add the other version, which is P&L. Or positions, position P&L auto. There we go. Yeah, she gonna come down hard. Okay. All right. Yeah, I don't know if I really wanted to algo trade this one. Not with the algos that I currently have. I think that to algo trade something like this, it would require a different algo that is set up for something without a lot of past historical data. This here doesn't have a lot of past historical data. Only been running as far as about 2-3 weeks. So buyers and sellers haven't really determined where they are in the market, but the algo is indiscriminate. So if you tell it to trade, then it's going to trade. All right, but so back here that we were looking at, the fund value is going to pull the market cap fundamental field, and if we have an error code, then the error code, if it's a 0, that means that that it's okay, that we did find the right fundamental field. If it's anything other than a 0, then we want to return an error. Okay, and this is a method within a function, and so the function is going to return the string that we get from this find cap method. See, return there. Okay, all right, so we're going to return an error, which returns an error for the function if we don't get the right fundamental field. However, if we do get a fundamental field for market cap, it's going to return that that market cap amount to ZM cap. ZM cap will then be multiplied. ZM cap will be in the it returns a number in the millions. So now we need to take the number it return. Now, so this is where it got me all congested earlier. So it returns millions of shares. So in order to get that million to the actual number, we need to multiply it by millions. So here's 3 zeros, here's 3 zeros. So now we multiply it by a million. So this is say 965. This might return 965, but it's 965 million. And so you need to multiply this number times million to get what this actual number is. Okay, and so now that we have whatever this actual number is, now we divide it by billions because we're going to be doing a switch case based on billions. See this full 10 integer here, this full 10 integer, this is 10 billion. And 0.25 of a billion is what? 250 million, right? So 250, so if we have a market cap less than 250 million, then it's a micro. 250 million to 2 billion is small, 2 billion to 10 is medium. 10 to 200 billion is a large cap, and over 200 billion is a mega cap. And it's going to return each of these strings back through this function, back to this, back through this method, back to this function, and then this function will send it to our script, our indicator called market cap. So once we're just going to run that function, and then that function is going to assign that string micro, small, medium, large, mega. It's going to return that string here to this variable. Only does it one time, but then on every bar on the radar screen, we will plot whatever this string is. And that's it. Oh, it went through. Wow. And we didn't even get the satisfaction of seeing it go through. That's sad. That's sad. But again, that's the beauty of algo trading. With algo trading, you're not supposed to get invested. You're supposed to let it happen, and just let it happen, and don't get invested in the emotions of what happens. Okay. All right. Let me put my account number in over here, and then we're going to see. Like I said, we just turned that on for today. And just now while I was on here with you, and we see that it moved up. So let's see what it moved up to, if it got us in profit for the day. It should have. Now it's a very good chance that it'll try to take another order. So the thing there is, do you want your script to stop taking trades at a certain point, or do you want to just let it keep taking trades? If at a certain point you've made a certain amount of profit, do you want to just tell it to shut off, or do you want it to keep taking trades? All right, so for this one, this is open P&L. Let's see. Don't have a closed P&L. Do we have closed P&L? Position, PL. Well, this is for a actual position, so not a closed position. So here, let me do this. Because we want to see how it did. $2.70. It made $2.70 on this. Here, we can do this. We can go slow trader, generate. This is, today is the 9th. This actually won't be that good either, because I had a couple positions from yesterday, just one shares that I closed out today. So, you know, but the profit is, I mean, everything that I had today closed green and profit, except for this one. I'm still holding on to that one. It's down 4 cents. That was one that I accidentally got into yesterday, but nonetheless, today is not the 9th, it's the 11th. Generate. Yeah, it's like I kind of almost pray that it doesn't get into another position, because if it does, it could just take away some of those profits. But you know, it is what it is. All right, so performance graph. Yeah, like I said, this is mostly just that that one there, the 287. Now, because I was up today, and then I think those two trades that it just took were, maybe I took a L on something else. I don't know what this one is. And then those two trades that it just took were bad, and then it made a positive one, and then it made that real big one. So let's see, trade list. So it looked like it took more than 3 trades. Looked like it took 4. So 3 of them were to the negative, and then 1 of them to the positive. So it took small losses. 6 cents. No, this was here. 36 cent, 3 cent, 14 cent, and then it made 51 and 272. So that's what I say. I mean, you kind of have to stick with the program. You gotta see it through. And a lot of times when you're manually trading, you hit these L's, by the time you get that third L, you say, you know what, I'm not going to trade it anymore. And so you put it down, and then you don't let the process finish out, right? So NVTS. Oh, NVTS. Yep. Okay, I turned the algos on, and it did take a trade on NVTS, which was a L. So okay, but right now it's 357, and the algos, I don't think they're supposed to take any more trades. So they should be done. They shouldn't be taking any more trades for the day, because they stopped. They're supposed to flatten at 355. So we should have sealed that that profit. Good deal. And we only have this one position on here. But this is something here that I'm working on, just for my user interface. And I've got to go back now and do some upgrades with my, and you know what? Well, perfect timing. Because like I said, at 355, it should have been closing all the orders. But then at 355, we also hit the target. So, all right, folks. Hopefully I have something good for you next time. But I'm Eric. I'm out. Peace.